All right, let's go ahead and bring out your first squad. Here's MIBR. And MIBR, a team that has had so much hype in this kickoff because of just the sheer amount of skill that is on this team Dryad. It is absolutely absurd. You have talent across the board, and it feels like they're showing no signs of stopping. We did a whole pre-show. We didn't even talk about Zekken. Good Lord.
Insane. I mean, just thinking and even seeing him still with that MIBR uniform.
Jarring.
It's insane. I love the way this team ended up forming, just having that core of 2024 Lev with those three players, with plus Zekken, plus Verno as that experienced IGL. It's just as good as it gets.
Yeah.
I think we saw a lot from MIBR when they played last time, and it was really proving how it is. And so NRG, they're coming out next, GB.
That's right. It's your world champions, NRG. And this is a squad that's looking to very much make a statement here. You want to get hype about this MIBR team. You want to give them all the love and all the flowers and everything. Screw that. These are the world champs. They have a point to prove here today, Myrna. That's the thing that I'm looking out for.
For sure. They've shown a lot of what they can do in that last game versus C9, and now they're kind of going up against these superstars. We're trying to see a lot of that confidence and a lot of that game plan, because they look almost near perfect, man. Their gameplay is kind of flawless.
Yeah, and I think the player to watch for me is Brock, coming off his MVP performance, and he's built like a brick wall in person, and he feels like a brick wall in game. So I feel like MIBR's biggest struggle is to get through him and make sure he has a bad game, which I don't think is possible.
I love that he gets doubted and he proves everybody wrong every single time. I mean, that last match, 3 clutches as well that he was getting on Pearl, it's just been so good for him.
Yeah, let's take a look at the series layout here. We got Abyss, Split, and if necessary, we're taking a trip to the sunny beaches of Breeze to decide this. What do we think, Myrna, of this series layout?
I think this makes sense. The only thing I'm questioning is NRG Split. I don't think we've seen either of these teams play Split so far, but Abyss definitely makes sense. We saw both these teams play it. NRG had a really good showing against Envy. Looked like they were solid. Or sorry, MIBR. Oh my God, where am I? MIBR had a really good showing against Envy. They looked really solid. They knew their game plan. They kind of had it all set, especially versus Envy. I'm wondering if they can even play to that, because now you have a NRG who you don't really see that much VODs on for their Abyss.
For this map of Abyss is going to be interesting because it changes so much to what we saw before, where you're going to see an MIBR on the attack side. They plays a lot more slower, and Verno having a lot more slower calls than you see from Ethan on NRG. Where Ethan, he's going for a lot of those 5-man hits. He knows how aggressive to get, but there's obviously that challenges that we saw last week on the other side for MIBR, where they're still continuing to play this Cypher that slows down that aggressive push.
True.
And on top of that, you have a Verno that is ready to react for whatever side.
Yeah, and building off what you said, I think both attack style IGLing is very similar on both teams. Both very simple, but both teams have incredible util. So it doesn't matter how simple or whatever insane strat they run, they can run anything, and their utils.
It's like you don't have to get too complex with the playbook when you have pieces that are just so effective like this here. And here's the Aegis on the other side for NRG. Here we got the Waylay, we got the Tejo out here as well. What do you think of this?
Dude, Ethan's like a Tejo main now. I feel like he pulls it out every map.
I really like this, honestly. I mean, it reminds me of what we saw for them for the opening match, with that Waylay finding those openings, and with that Tejo as well to create that space like we were talking about.
All right, folks, we're all set for this one. Map 1 is underway, so let's go ahead and send it over to your casters for this banger of a matchup. Here is Riv and the ever-clairvoyant Vansili.
That's right, it is time for this kickoff match. Finally, MIBR versus NRG. Everybody's been waiting for this match. If we knew what was happening between the teams, some would say it's an early finals, but we don't know it's there yet. We still have the super team, still an unknown, versus our champions.
Yeah, the proven team being NRG. And at this point, you just heard what Mata was mentioning before we started this game. It was probably the hardest matchup that they had throughout the whole 2025. And it was at Champs in the upper bracket semifinals against MIBR. A nail-biter of a series that had to be won in 2 overtimes in a 3-mapper for NRG. Yeah. And one of those maps, this one right here, Abyss. But this time NRG comes in with a whole different composition. No more Harbor for Ethan. But at this time, and as you see how NRG's been playing, they are taking a lot of advantages and exploiting this Tejo and Waylay.
MIBR starting on defense. NRG is going to hover towards that B side first, seeing Tex usually left on an island. The team's perfectly fine doing that in the early game as we see Zekin start to trend over, but this mid control is big right now for MIBR. That's a shot from Scuba, ready for it. Slight bit of default as the rest of NRG goes back and forth to see what they can see at the sites, and now they switch the sides of the map, but the push isn't over. Verno still looking for space, looking to get this trade for his teammate as NRG sets up towards the A side, and it looks like he might just get backstabbed as well. Ooh. 2 for Scuba already, and we haven't even really started the round, Vans.
Just really opens up the map. Look at Mata at the same time. While Scuba's just doing God's work at middle, they're just going back and forth grabbing the orbs. So right now, all the objectives are being taken by NRG to have a very strong start in this pistol. And you talked about Tex having to play on the island quite often. He's going to use these cyber cages as one-way smokes and try to slow things down for a bit and go for the hero play.
It creates a little bit of a backside for himself, but he peeks right away, and a third for Scuba. Are we ending Breeze from the other day here with his clutch? My God, he continues, and the whole team is basically packing Sheriffs and Ghosts, so as they line up to get these final kills, Vans, it should be enough damage coming through.
Call's already out there for Ethan to have Scuba continue to go for a hunt. I mean, that's 3 shots for a Sheriff, all of them hitting.
Van Silly?
I mean, that's 3 bullets in a row that still connects. Already pissed around looking for the ace for Scuba.
With basically 100% aim on all of them. He's just going to wait it out. Let's see, Brock's going to be the sentry for him to search. Scuba with the shot. The backup Mata! And it's the ace for Scuba to start it off.
Want to come out strong for the side of NRG. MIBR starting off the pistol round, what they do wanted to play that contact play, trying to surprise some players, but look at the positioning coming out from this player right here. Scuba, who has been unstoppable here in the VCL, going into this stage 2 of Americas, and also helping NRG hoist in that Champs trophy in 2025. And already, you're already going to call it easy.
Yeah. Definitely no question about the Scuba skill. Oh,
that's okay.
Well, did I curse that? Was that like an insta curse? That's not okay. Still, no question about the Scuba skill. We're gonna test it again here in a possible 1v5 situation.
He's got the shots.
Slight ping, giving the rest of the team time to run free across the map here. They just don't know it yet as the smokes go out onto A. We see MIBR trying to get something going here on the second round.
While Mata falls, this should still be an easy plan for NRG, and despite the ore missing, it doesn't matter. They're still on the anti-eco for NRG, but you're still seeing how they're hitting the sights for the side of NRG. Bringing out this tail for Ethan. They're trying to make sure that nobody can really anchor within the sights as he actually threw those salvos back towards Trolla under that bridge in case you still had Tex playing in that spot. So now everything's just in pristine position to play a second round for the side of NRG. The interesting part about this too for MIBR, especially on Abyss, they could jump out of the map, go back into the next round, but very similarly to the last time when they had to play an eco against NRG, they're going for the re-hit, trying to make it expensive for NRG and his pulse plan.
And on more than one front, they come in from the back side as the team tries to hit the site head on from that heaven drop, and it looks like it's going to be too much util across the spike for them to get it as they look for a bit more damage, a bit more armor, half on the spike, and the kill's going to come through for Ethan. Getting that Teo ultimate online just a little bit more. Still quite a ways away, but that's 2 for NRG as they push into the bonus round.
Damage is there, though. The only thing you could get out of a positive in that pulse plan is at least Ethan staying very confident and stoic in that 2 versus 1. Knows that he has the time in his favor, and at the same time, just even waits for the smoke to disappear so he can just tap the last opponent down, which was Zekin trying to get that defuse. You see it right there? ADS, easy kill. So he saves the round now for NRG, and yeah, Bonkar's not throwing those big fist bumps. Yeah, there you go. The sigh of relief towards the end.
Took quite a bit to get it out of the boys on that one. But I think that's one of the things we also see from MIBR is their ability to know the state of the game, when to play their life, and how to get back into the site together. Having all that util. I mean, they didn't have much util there at all, but using each other accordingly to make that damage come through. That's what made them so effective with the gun rounds as well in their previous match.
Yeah. And Kiko, as you see this compositional switch for NRG going back here to the Omen. when he was technically supposed to be just slotted in to replace Som, and you know, Som has been playing nothing but controller going into 2025, and for them to win Champs for Energy in that last year. When you look at the addition of Kiko, it's actually a great addition to the whole Energy squad, because now you have 3 players that can flex around to a lot of different roles, being Ethan between Tejo and Astra, for example, on Breeze. You have Kiko now that can play Duelist, Sentinel, and now back to the Omen. And of course, you have the Swiss Army knife around Scuba as well. If, you know, Ethan's going to play the Initiator role, he can go into the Omen role. So it allows right now for Energy to have so many different approaches on different maps, whether it be double controller, double Initiator, double Duelist, they could have it. So that's going to give a lot of question marks for teams to try to prep against a champion team like Energy.
And it's wild to see they're not really showing everything just yet. We pull out that, as you say, smoke now for MIBR, but they can still go through that entire cycle just to make the season a bit easier in situations where they know they need an upper hand. And the same thing goes for MIBR, right? A lot of this idea surrounding the super team that's built is, oh God, Second's there, but will he play Duelist? Can he play Duelist? Or is Aspas going to frag? And they'll continue to utilize throwing utility in front of him so he has the space to be Aspas over and over again.
It'll definitely be a fun series to watch over right now between these two teams. When you're looking at it too, we'll see how it's going to go. But at least earlier today, we got to speak with Mara and what it's like to face against Aspas in the server.
I think the hard games are the ones that you learn the most from. Aspas is, I mean, the most world-class player you can be, so you always learn a thing or two. He kills you on an angle, he kills you here, he kills you there. You learn these things, and you also see what you're doing that is like working, because it works against him or their teammates or anyone else on the team. So it's always fun playing against better teammates.
He's the guy. He's playing against the guy. I mean, even earlier in their previous match when MIBR was losing 6 rounds in a row, there was a timeout. What'd they do? Come out of the timeout with an operator on Aspas. Everything was okay again.
Yeah.
That's just, it's just the way it goes.
And that's the thing. Aspas has found tremendous form, again, going from last year into Champs and then continues it on into 2026. So he's definitely a menace to deal with. You saw it when he played against NV last week. They just gave him freedom of being able to work down towards wherever he wanted to go on solo, because he was playing Waylay with an op on the attack side, defensive side, whatever you want to do, and he's just going to land that shot. So to have the opportunity to see such a superstar in Aspas to play against Mata, who's pretty much like we were calling it the up-and-comer last year, but now pretty much proven that he can hang with the best. He's definitely in that conversation here for Mata to be one of the best that the game has to offer in terms of duelists.
I can't wait to see, right? We're seeing these tier 2 players, now tier 1 for some time, just excel, right? And smash through any ceilings that people have for them in the beginning, and you see them approaching these veteran players very fast, and you're like, how far does that keep going? What is the next level for them? So really awesome to see players like Mata, Timotino, and all the rest across the regions really start to break out and show that it is new tricks that are available still in Valorant.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes you say you can't teach old dog new tricks. Now it brings me to a segue to talk about dogs. So if you ever wonder why Aspas brings out a stuffed dog on his stage during his matches,
why is that?
You're about to get the answer. Not for me.
Hello guys, I'm Aspas and I'm playing for MIBR. This one here is Doguinho. He is the first gift that my wife gave to me. She gave when I was going to fly to Istanbul to play Champions in 22. And since then, he's been going to all matches with me. He won a Champions trophy in Turkey with me. When I won the trophy, I put him inside the trophy. During the moment that the team was going to raise the trophy, he was there inside the trophy. It was he and Dogão, his Doguinho, but Dogão, that was the big one, he was inside the trophy as well. But Doguinho was on top. He won some Americas as well in 23.
Let's give it up one more time for Wow!
And 24. Doguinho says thanks for watching.
We thank Doguinho for all the moments that he carried Aspas to champions.
Yeah, exactly. And being able to hoist trophies with Loud and then being able to win regional events in Americas with you know, two of his former teammates being Tex and Mazzino. So that brings us to the conversation now, too, of what was talked about by Emily, speaking with Ospas earlier on. Now you have this super team during the offseason that was attempted to get built by the organization of MIBR, with Fraud as the main coach, but also bringing in Happy as the assistant coach, two now CS legends from 1.6 to CSGO to now this. It's crazy to see how much effort has been put into this roster for MIBR for this year, and now to see that you have a level of comfort for Ospas to play with older teammates and Mazzino and Tex to see him reunited again, and why maybe some people that were doubting Tex in the past, well, they got third place at Champs in 2024 with that roster, with Tex in there. So if Tex is able to find that form, which he did in that matchup last week, then MIBR is definitely like a strong powerhouse that we have here in Americas.
There's so many good voices on that team. Speaking of that, the other side, NRG, again, we keep hyping up the super team, and I feel like for the moment, that's the team that everybody's thinking about right now. How far can they go? But we do still have
He wanted to chill, doing a marathon right now with Shanks, watching all the games in all the regions right now. So they needed to find somebody. And now it seems that from Red Bull home grounds into now, Kiko fits in quite well, and even, like I said, elevates NRG in terms of being able to add new to the playbook because of how versatile Kiko is.
Yeah, seeing him as the Judge Merchant slide around on Neon, little home defense strategy from him, and every sight we saw on Breeze as the team was getting themselves into position to retake it from Cloud9. And overall, like you said, the flex on that team is going to make them such a dangerous prospect throughout the year, even more than they already are as the champions. So you can't forget it. And now it's the brains of Verno and Ethan are also awesome to look at because of how young you have in one IGL with all of these veterans around him. And then Ethan, a two-time champion, pretty much has the answer for everything and doesn't get the fog of war around him in any situation.
It was still fairly new going into IGL even last year, right? So it's still kind of new for these two, but it's really fun to see how, you know, these two guys are going to get overworked this series, because you're now looking at Abyss, where this is the first time we're going to play against NRG on this comp. Split has never been seen before by either of their teams, and then go into Breeze, where we haven't seen MIBR yet since last year, so it'll be a fun one to witness when we have a chance.
When we have the chance. We appreciate your patience right now. We are going to take a quick tech timeout. We will be right back after this.
Now trying to look for something. Scuba untouched and unbeatable.
Agora contra 4 jogadores vai ser pressionado. Pode vir, pode vir. Para Verno!
Welcome back to VCT Americas. Hope is on the horizon. I know you still see pause on the screen, but we should almost be there to recap what's happened in the game already. If believe it or not, an ace first round by Scuba, coming out with beautiful share shots. The last one, the team throwing themselves into the fire just so we could get it. But they came out strong, and then a second round where they actually took quite a bit of damage on their gun rounds, so they suffered a bit.
A great response from MIBR. Came down to a 1v1 towards the end when we only had pistols on the side of MIBR. Technically right now, going into that third round where it should be a bonus round for NRG.
Yeah, here we go.
It's supposed to be not an expensive buy, but they are investing a lot into this round. So thank you for your patience as we get back here into the game. A setup now for MIBR to just try to find some active information. A knife early, sees nobody there from the side of KO. So that's the call right now for Aspas. You see the jiggles coming through. The camera stays up right now for Tex. So they could maybe try to answer back on a B-side hit from NRG.
A high trip, just to make sure nothing crazy going into the site.
Back in a flash.
And Tex is going to say, yes, on backside. Give Aspas a little bit of freedom to do what he can on the right there. His Tex draws attention. Scuba's going to bite, and he takes so much damage. That's where Scuba's Viper Bite goes, so they know exactly the room they had to work with. MIBR set up on the outside. It looks like they want to make a double take for this, but Kiko says, no way. Ferno and Aspas down very quick here as, again, NRG exits the site a little bit just to get that defensive setup.
Almost feels like this should be a call, but Mazzino still sticking out in the open, and finally there's that call to fall back. I gotta say though, a nice little idea to have that trip for the anti-dash, but at the same time you're playing against a Waylay, an easier recall. That would have been perfect against a Jet.
Yeah.
That said, you're able to see NRG on that hit on the B side stay very patient. So many players trying to anchor towards this B site, try to bubble through smokes and try to prevent players from jumping through the abyss, but they just waited for the cages to disappear around Scuba. Still using util around that troll where that blue X is at right now, and Scuba cannot anchor up on that site. Given a good chance here for NRG to convert a bonus round and start snowballing the economy on their side, especially when, again, that second round was quite expensive for them to take.
A great focus from NRG, just being able to pinpoint an instant opening in the site there. You see towards the back. So he does go in, pulls back out, and oh, the Teo util goes back there. He gets pushed into the molly once again after getting shot with the Guardians. So yeah, not a place you're gonna hide.
Can't play the game.
Happy with that protocol set down by the squad to get through the bonus round.
But I have to keep an eye on that conditioning too, because if now you're gonna have to force Tex to relocate towards New Box or something.
Yeah.
That's going to be watched when you're going to start scaling on the side of NRG. That said, you see the composition from MIBR. Last round, it was a knife out towards that A-main side from Mazzino to spot info. This time, it's the active camera from Tex, which is why you're looking at this new meta. You're seeing a lot of teams still very comfortable playing this double initiator, but also adding that third character to get that information and be able to get out. So that's Tex with the camera. Or on NRG side, it should just be the Waylay dashing in, finding info, recalling. And that gives a chance right now for both teams to react a little bit more around that map. It also causes for a lot of defaulting, though, around the map, which is you're seeing NRG cutting noise and forcing MIBR's next round to get info. It looks to be a drone by Verno on the front side of A, but decides otherwise and finally pulls it out, and he's going to get right onto the money.
Scary spot to be is a solo Sova. He just had that smoke to get away from that they've given him, but oh no, Waylay to top box, not to heaven. Safe for the time being as MIBR sets up for the retake, and NRG again, pretty much a flawless entry into the site to get themselves set up.
Save 2 weapons into it. The last round was Aspas and Mazzino. Now I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it again. They did it with pistols in that second round. Now they want to continue to try to make it expensive. That knife now realizes that NRG playing off the site. Lineups, no salvos though really available, so they're just going to try to play the spray, actually, if you look at the remaining utility available for the side of NRG on the attack.
Just trying to get somebody up close. Oh, Mata over the smoke already whittles down the numbers of MIBR here. He's just finding a few more, looking for those alt points, but Mazzino answers back. Now to the 3v3, Spike's going down, so they're going to have to get it to half soon here as NRG lights up the kill feed. That's going to be all they need to take down MIBR. get themselves out alive. 4-0 now.
That's twice now that energy. I mean, it's cutting it close, but at the same time, they're doing a great job playing off the sites and off each other to make sure that the smokes that are being thrown by MIBR to attempt to defuse really have a chance. Global dissipates, easy kill towards the end, but I like the positioning. It almost feels calculated on the walls that they're setting up right now on their attack side, where Kiko could play it as a one-way smoke on the top of the box.
No trust, bro. No trust. Good job. Good comms. Good shot.
All right, into round 5. Revealing it. Is this going straight over the top?
It's quick.
Very quick. Push towards mid. They're going to see if they can get a ping off of this right away, maybe, and work it. Oh my gosh. And they ult immediately, taking all of vent and that upper heaven area for themselves. NRG just putting their foot down once again in the site, making MIBR question how to get back in.
What a nice little look. It's going to make it so hard for MIBR to remove it back into the site, especially with that pit on the top of heaven. We'll talk about it in a second right now, though, because MIBR are trying to find some value around Ospas' up.
So many little setups that they have, different looks each round. It's like when MIBR does get guns, they're not seeing the same thing. They can't even find something that they saw the previous round. Looks like a save here for Ospas and the operator, since it is a key factor for them to get back in the game.
Was the biggest win con for MIBR against Envy.
Yep.
The potential will continue to do so throughout the season for this Brazilian organization. But again, when we were just talking about this double initiator on the side of any teams right now that could slow the tempo and play a lot of default, you see how Energy could also up that tempo by using the Teo salvos to immediately break the doors and fast as they move forward to take some immediate control towards A Heaven side. And you're not allowing any team to play a retake if a pit comes out that deep.
No way. It's such an awkward position, too. How many times you played around that anyways? To retake down a long hallway, you'll probably be 30 health at by the damage from the pit anyways. We got a timeout being called here by the team, so MIBR, Fraud can get in the ear of the players and figure out where they can put a stop to these energy hits.
Well, it definitely looks like a couple of rounds ago, or at least a few rounds that we've seen so far. It's been outside of that piston round where that double walk down on middle from MIBR. The rest of it has been kind of trying to be more reactive on things and giving too much space for energy to work with. And that was probably also a nice plan that they drafted up against Envy in their last game. When you're playing the knife, it's not finding anybody. Verno usually goes for the owl drone right after, so they are trying to find immediate information by cycling util around that 1 minute 20-second mark so that they could actually go for the stack into the fight. Right now, maybe you're asking here for, I mean, you're seeing on the side of Fraud here of MIBR, he's not saying too much, and during these timeouts, it's also been Verno being fairly vocal in these timeouts against Envy, and they were able to convert a few of those as well. So again, you talked about the inexperience of Verno on the IGL, but he's very confident as he reads the game perfectly.
And one of the things they praise him for that I feel like always stays, it's not something that can waver, is that he knows the game around the ultimates, around what they can play, what the other team has. That's not a statistic that changes, right? The ults will come up and go down. So he's not afraid of who's fragging, afraid of who's on the other team. He plays around the state of the game, and that's one of, I think, the biggest things for him as a young IGL to keep him focused on what the win con can be. Let's see if they have it here from the defensive side after their timeout. Verno already says if they try this again, Vence is locked down. Takes a bit of damage there as they toast him up with a little bit of the Lego lost jump from Brock. But it's not going to be too much of a follow-up. They just want this heaven space so they can begin to pressure MIBR.
Still a very nice call. He plays forward here to just punish that fast push again from Energy, trying to leverage her ults to take over heaven again. And as they play soft side right after, almost feels like two of those ults are now wasted for the set of Energy, allowing now MIBR to have more util for the retake.
And it's rare that NRG has pushed to the backside of this site. Usually you get kind of a drop over the A default, but they are planting and getting back to hold it from a defensive position on their own side here. It's been working. The trips aren't even in use now, but Mazzino isn't going to matter. He just swings out on Brock and takes him as the team is now figuring out how to find where NRG is. Mata being a nuisance from heaven, another kill there, but Zekin's able to answer it back easy. Defuse coming in through the smoke, however, for MIBR as they leave NRG guessing to the situation.
It was just quick. Very nice where we talked about the lack of util. Well, that makes it even harder when Mazzino's going to start popping off that KO ult. The null command really not allowing NRG to really slow down that fast push from the flood of MIBR back into the A site. And that now finally have a full smoke covered up. Talking about conversions on timeouts for the side of MIBR, they've been quite good going into those calls, but also very difficult for them to string rounds together, though, after these timeouts. So
yeah,
we'll have to see if NRG has an answer back right away. An op shot, but it misses.
You can see Aspas getting hungry now. Wants to make a mark at the beginning of these rounds instead of wait for something to happen. 0 point gets destroyed here, and they're not going to have more info than a few. They know the hit's going to come through, though. You see how much he wants to peek, but everybody, again, playing their life here. Just Mazzino in sight to try and grab some info. He's doing a great job at somewhat delaying the situation here. Aspas goes down as soon as the smoke does, and NRG is locked on these angles with no fear when the smokes go down. Bolzeckin, though, coming back into the site, gets taken down by Kiko as the dust settles now at 2v3 for MIBR to get back in.
Yeah, good on Zekin to even slow the tempo once again from NRG, giving a chance here for heroic plays to come out. To get an ult out for Tex, but it's a little bit too far away.
What?
That just
from the shadows.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, hats off to Kiko. Gets another one in the site, and they know exactly where Sova's coming from. Verno here holding the ult, obviously. We'll just have the time to play with if he doesn't save, and it looks like he is going to backpedal.
Just too much. You have the orb cycle coming through from Scuba and from Kiko. There's nowhere you're walking up that ramp, especially now where they spotted from the shadows where Verna was rotating from. There's no way they could go for the surprise play. You have to respect Mazzino's, though. Mazzino's attempt to stay alive towards that new box has been very good in his starter game last week, and at the same time just putting up high numbers as his KO. And now he's just trying to stay alive to give a chance for his teammates to rotate on time, for Aspas to find a timing and swing out, but they both got punished in the end. Too many numbers on the side of NRG as they overtake that B site.
It's where they get into sight, they stand there, wait for the smokes, kind of like they do over at A. They don't enter the back just yet until they absolutely clear it. I mean, that's good protocol, but man, they are sticking to it right now. We'll see what happens as we get into the next round 8 here as they focus towards the A side. MIBR stops the bleeding for 1 round, but gets reset.
Toxins going up.
It's going to be the slow 5-man hit. Tried to go for a push play down towards middle. You heard that dash, the pop flash as well, and that's the call already for NRG to say, okay, well, it's A or B. Let's just 5-man hit a weak site.
Waylay sight in. Better than a drone at this point, and Kiko's up top to still finish it, thinking they have backed off all the way. No, it is not true. They're still getting these inserts instantly into the site, and they're able to just rinse and repeat this. There's really nothing that can stop the side of NRG. Maybe a trip or two, but it's just going to get shocked out.
Breaking ankles.
Okay. Whatever, Kiko.
Now just play offside. I mean, you got salvos. This is pretty much a done deal once again. Shock dart, snake bite.
That's
could be good with the shots, it could be nerdy with the shocks as well.
Look at that post plant. Shock post plant, Tejo salvo post plant. A little bit more from everyone when they want it. And there's 3 outside the smoke, just firing phantoms through mostly, so you can't even get a good return trade on the situation.
It almost feels right now that for MIBR, I think after that timeout, the idea is right. They still have to try to push forward and try to just lock down a lane. Since that timeout we've seen, or just previously, we saw Aspas trying to opt down towards B. The pop flash trying to push down towards middle, but it's just unfortunately gamble pushes that doesn't work out for their side. But if you're looking at the way that NRG is currently hitting this A site, sometimes they go towards heaven, or if not, it's the Waylay dash or the Kiko TP on the top of the A site. So you kind of always keep MIBR guessing. You have to do a very good job right now for MIBR to just button things up on these aggressive pushes, and they're trying again.
There's that pop flash mid we saw or heard last time. Already ready from 2 sides of this. They've pushed up to cover mid to react to that what they just heard from last round over towards that A side. Just round to round educating themselves on how to beat MIBR in the following round.
And all they had to do was to stay back and break that recon dart on middle, and as soon as that's broken, there's no value get off the pop flash recon dart. So NRG 1 step ahead of understanding how MIBR could maximize its composition to surprise their opponents if they don't have enough money for that op, and they're doing a great job just really nullifying any type of aggressive attempts from MIBR to get early info.
And seeing this switch for Kiko too over to the Omen for this from the Neon gameplay, we knew he could, but man, 10 and 2 over there, being the second follow-up in these plays as the secondary controller or mid controller. They're both kind of doing the same amount of controlling, but it's just so on point right now. And they go to make that play inside the site again. It's absolutely disgusting. Inside the cage of Tex kills him. It was the cover that Mata needed.
Spike planted.
It's just so tough right now, especially when you're leaving Tex. You could give him so much confidence to anchor up a site, but when there's so much util on top of that, a recon dart to ping you out, and there's no support to break that dart, they can't play that type of passive shock dart, deny plant with Verno on top of Heaven. They got to think of something new, play a little bit more of that buddy system aggressively inside these sites.
Very true. Cosmic Divide here, coming in for the retake, and Scuba just sinks him.
Scuba playing around his Viper walls, man. Just highlight reels after highlight reels for this kid.
That's crazy. Something we saw NRG doing versus C9 was that Viper wall on Breeze, they'd push up to it every time. They'd aggress on it, even let the other team know they were there. So in the silent moments, they're even better.
I thought they were saving, but it takes forever, bro. Jesus.
Brock just wants to play.
And that's why the advantage is always going to be on their side when you're looking at it here, Riv, because the more time you're taking for MIBR to set up, waiting for your teammates to rotate across, when you've already lost site control, you're just trying to find the perfect timing. Well, NRG can just stay off site. We've seen all those lineups they can play. So I don't even know why Vernal continues to be fully active and vocal, because these guys are playing Abyss to perfection.
Yeah.
This is definitely not the same type of scoreline of that upper bracket semifinal champs 2025 here between these two teams. It seems that it's been leveled up. Remember the last time when they played, it was Ethan actually playing the Harbor. And what made the Harbor so strong on this map was just that double cascade slicing and, you know, the refresh of the high tides, which we don't have that anymore. We've seen some teams still try to attempt it by almost mimicking that comp. In Loud, for example, and unfortunately it wasn't, you know, the best of successes that we saw from Penkata on that agent because of the kit that's been so, I guess, neutered at this point.
And we look at this game coming into this week as a litmus test for MIBR. What's their positioning? How ready is this super team? And we know there is a ceiling for them somewhere. It's when are they going to punch through it? When are they going to show us how fast they can reach it? Because right now, NRG is keeping them off any kind of climb in this game. 8-1 now. And they're going to just go ahead and set up a default to see if MIBR really likes to take these rounds long.
And you just saw a fourth piece of the of how they could get active information. Kiko going for a jump peek TP back in KCC's like a push coming out on the eco for MIBR after this timeout. They're looking to just play more safely and stack up for MIBR on this B side. So forcing NRG to use that util on their attack side to have hopefully a little bit less on the actual hit. And that Joel will now confirm that this should be a B finish. So MIBR so far reading this correctly.
Still taking a little bit of that space to confirm with vision. Is Verno on the right side, so he's calmed everyone in sight. It's just an eco. So they're looking to get some damage down as Mata just sweeps Mazzino off his feet. There's that same clear that killed Tex last time towards the back left of the site with the Viper's Bite. And it is just rinse and repeat again here. Aspas looking, lands himself in one of the salvos, but they do get out as the Convergence pass comes through. Should be all right to get out of this situation. 3v3.
No charges. I got the spot.
So you had to use a big ult just to stall here, just to try to get the plant down. There's only 20 seconds left, and MIBR is actually primed right now to be able to hit back. Especially now with the camera. You still have the Blade Storm available for Aspas. They could do some damage here.
Honestly, sometimes it's just about the confidence, fans. You're right. The ult has allowed MIBR to kind of squeeze NRG into a position of anxiety here, and they're wondering which way is the right one to look. That's cleaned up a little bit by Ethan to start him off, triggering Aspas to go, but Mata already had the situation locked down. It took him a moment, but NRG still power through.
Almost in the lineup. It was a clean shot onto Kiko when they went for that double swing on that side. The amount of shots that are popping through, trying to bait them out so that Aspas can get value off those Blade Storms. Nice little transfer in the end for Mata. They continue their run. I mean, that timeout, even if it looks disappointing for Fraud, there's still, again, in these eco rounds, good damage being done for the side of MIBR, but this is where it gets important. The money's back, which allows Ospas to invest into another off. They've done these plays before, and it's red already.
Last time Ospas tried that, he was able to walk out of it. So he probably felt real comfortable trying again.
And usually they use a KO knife to make sure that they could nullify some utility to not allow Ospas to be cleared out from a drone or anything like that, but it's just Mata walking up to get the pick. So that just comes down to the preparation for something like Bonkar when it comes down to these games, and why NRG had such a surge of results that put them into the finals of the Americas of Stage 2 that made them win champs. This guy works around the clock and figures out here how their opponents play and just punishes them every time.
It really is a core point. You have a team that wants to buy an op so much. You have a team this smart, you can read that economy like a book. And coming out of that low buy round, of course they wanted one. You're right. The homework was done for that, for sure. Back into the B site once again. That back left connection, always a big one for the team to take, so they know they have site coverage. And this is where MIBR could somewhat excel. It's what we saw them coming back in their previous match on, is when they could get to the site and flood in. But already they could get picked off in mid here.
I see a little bit of desperate moments too, like just a pop flash. Oh, the lurk again from Scuba. At least only gets one, but you're seeing on the other extremity of the map here, on the defensive side, everybody's just trying to go for hero plays. Just trying to hopefully make something stick.
There again, Mazzino trying to peek off a little bit of the util, but NRG has made all of these 1v1 situations across the map, and they continue to do that as MIBR needs to search and see where they're inserted, where they're hiding. Because with the speed NRG's taking sites, you know they don't need everybody in there, and they probably didn't use everyone. Who's lurking is the question.
It's funny because we had the conversation before going to this game. Is there really a team that could start off here as a build-up and become a super team?
Yeah.
And almost when you're looking at the side of NRG for last year, you have two rookies coming in Mata and Scuba, and Brock as well, actually. And you're not expecting the biggest of results, especially with the attempts of NRG in the past in the super teams that they tried to build.
I hope they played that little soundbite. I say he's going to updraft on the box, and I just kill him.
He knew it.
Just knew.
He knew it.
Watching that tape. But again, they look excellent now since the addition of all of these players around the NRG roster. Rebuild around Ethan. And now they're definitely looking just like a strong super team, at least in the Americas for now.
Nothing they're doing requires too much, right? It is an ABC. Your drone goes in, dart goes in, and the coverage is there. There's nothing you need to guess about. You don't have to. We heard Ethan say trust earlier, but I say it gives you all the trust you need to look where you need to on these site takes.
So they are trying to close down these gaps here for MIBR that NRG is trying to default at the beginning. So the salvos that breaks the door, very similar to what Verno did before. Ospas is going to try to take that spot. NRG is still keeping things very slow. Up and down walls, creating question marks. But now, with the orb being picked up, you know it's towards the A side. Ospas is already going to rotate there, but we're going to try to use util to try to clear him out so we could pit into A. There's still 50 seconds left on the clock, but now with nobody inserted across the map, it definitely looks like it's going to be the explosion into this A site.
And this has to be one of the holds. Zekin and Ospas have been playing together a lot. They've been synergizing around these two roles. If they can make it work, this is the time. Zekin gets 2 on this as Ospas goes down, and MIBR is still looking to hold the site, but there is the salvo from Ethan that locks it down a little bit more for the side of NRG. It's still 3v3 here, but Brock is going to quickly change that as Verno goes for the peak. Zeno has to creep in, has a ways to go before he finds anything here, so he might even have to duck out. No, gets Brock on one, is going to go ahead for a little bit of a refresh as he flashes back in. Now he knows he has Tex at the hip. A tap on the spike. No, they're going to continue to push forward to try to do this silently. Ethan finds Mazzino. Tex with just a running gun, but Scuba's able to lock it down once again in that final situation.
And it almost looked like it was going to finally work for MIBR, adding another body in there, making sure that you're breaking out that util, and they almost had a pretty strong hold for the side of MIBR, coming close to the wire again in the final moments of the round.
Gosh, the Hunter's Fury to push somebody into the salvos, the reaction time that NRG has off of their abilities is wild. 11-1 here for NRG. MIBR has a big hill to climb when we come back.
can I help you, sir?
Here's the bill from the dealership where I got my car, and I'd like you to beat it with a better deal on one of these fine cars.
Not how it works.
Guess you're not as cool as Verizon.
Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal today.
Welcome back to VCT Americas as we get ready for the second half, which NRG might make quite quick for us if they continue this domination of the game.
Yeah, looking very strong on just working that attack side at whatever tempo that they wanted to for the side of NRG. Now it's finally, hopefully, MIBR with a more basic composition that we've seen in the past before, trying to get value out of this one as well. Once we get into the server, though, an interesting look at what we have for MIBR is in the past, though, we're trying to rate boss Aspas by having Mazzino trying to drop, you know, like a ghost or something for Aspas so he could get an extra clout burst. But this time around, they're going for the flash ghost and also him just going with the sheriff. So you need Mazzino and, well, I was going to say, and Aspas to work together here, but he's just throwing a flash, trying to create a fake towards this A side first so MIBR can start activating on mid control and trying to cut these rotates across from NRG.
They want quite a bit of map control here. See who's hiding where, who wants to play on what for the pistol round, and Tex gets the better of Mata to start off. I don't think he actually identified how many were in mid either, so it's still a question mark for NRG, but they're keeping focus on it.
The other thing that's difficult now is how you're going to cross this line of scrimmage with this extra wall being put up by Scuba. He used to play the Vice a lot in the past, using the wall to prevent players from rushing through, doing very similar looks now with the Viper Wall defense on B. Also, there to help is Ethan just around the corner with 2 salvos.
All missiles away.
2 salvos out, no dart info. And yeah,
dart too.
Quite stalled here. Brock down to 4.
Exactly. It'll be a stop and go right now for MIBR. With 36 seconds left and all 5 of them on this side, they have to try to re-hit. Comes down to the fundamentals. Who has the best crossfire and who is able to swing off each other the best.
Second has 2 stars left. He's at the back of the heaven area. See if we get any here. He's going to actually split the site in 2 so they can work the front and get to the backside to plant on the left. And NRG is huddling just as much here. It's about to be a party at the backside. Inferno comes up huge with the Sheriff. Aspas answers as well, and it leaves Kiko to try and do what he may from the side. And he's found out. MIBR grab a very much needed pistol round.
And the beauty again of the fundamentals and having veterans like Fraud, like Happy going into the buddy system. And as he creep up for both Verno and Aspas, they went high-low with the Sherries too to make sure that they could try to go for trades. And it's Verno just capitalizing on 2 that had pretty good spacing for the side of Scuba and Ethan.
Oh, flawless. You heard this guy's flawless.
I heard it now. I heard it now. Holding with the Marshall on this one. So being real quick with those shots if Aspas needs to. Backed up by Mazzino. And they're actually just calling this push right now. The forward smoke from NRG. And they're going to try to come out into the blender of MIBR.
Yeah, a lot harder to try to pop out of a smoke when you have flashes to work with, so you're trying to leverage salvos to break crosshair placements. But MIBR were doing a great job just playing out towards that spawn. They were just ready for that push.
Too good. Nice control.
I'm glad you guys are having fun.
Oh, that was another flawless.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be the second hot
I thought Tex was going for it too, so we had to. All right, 11-3. This is a huge round for MIBR. The eggs are in this basket right now, as they only see Brock on one side. We still keep the consistency of this mid push around, and they see Mata again.
And they're just using the firepower to work together. Verno, who's been very good here on clutch scenarios. They're just trying to have him and Osbos scale up towards this mid. They're keeping NRG quite cautious of trying to fight back at this spot, so they're turtling up. So this is a lot of space right now that MIBR can start taking towards the mid round. Drone now should get broken up here by Tex.
Seen, but not too much off that. Doesn't matter if he's suppressed or not. A little rotation out here from Ethan, and this could be some good timing for MIBR. They're still waiting very heavily here on the main area. Oh my God, just playing aim practice over here. Brock holding down the vent. A quick hat trick for him, and this changes the mind of Tex and Zekin.
And just sit and spawn and save your weapons for the next 30 seconds. Felt like there was a bit of a miss on how they wanted to open up on that door, though. Because when you have to drop that star down for that side of Zekin, you're already making a call. Okay, there is definitely going to be a push coming out from the connector here from middle onto the A site. But now you're forcing Osbos to break the door and also trying to clear. Well, maybe somebody should have stayed back as a second player just on crosshair placement. So they could try to look at, hopefully, somebody on the other side of the door to trade out.
Yeah.
But two of them got caught off guard. The third one was stuck with util in hand and tried to go for the hero play, and it becomes an easy kill for Brock. Yeah, this is going to put NRG on map point.
A few guns should be a little bit of money to buy there still for MIBR, and the question is now with the last round, or match point, looming overhead, do you get tempered and play where you don't want to lose, or do we see our first fast round from MIBR? Because it seems like the slow rounds are punished here by NRG. Just sit back and relax, coach. Team's got it for now.
BBB challenge for Bonkar. Well, you saved 2 weapons, now you're forcing out for the rest of this game. At least the buy is still good for MIBR. Trying to activate a little bit more quickly.
Yeah.
Having that smoke on the top, trying to go for that early pressure on mid, and Mata avoids the knife, but couldn't get the ADS on to Osbos. He's going to now slow down the tempo a bit.
It seems like bodies are a thing now. They just have to use Vans. Like, hey, we're here, power in numbers, peek us, we'll trade you. It seems
it's
like
never given by NRG.
No, they are very good at keeping themselves back and in that position to play with each other. And again, backing off, just looking to slow them, and they gather in sight to take a different position because they're not sure what's behind them. Zeno nicely getting that kill on Namada. A lot of action on Vent throughout this game. It's been a priority for these teams throughout the rounds. Second, another one.
That should pull everybody back towards B.
Hopefully, they got to be moving.
Already got that kill onto Z. You saw, you know, the first contact that went out towards Ivy, and at the same time you're punishing a double push on B main. That's an open site. Brock and Kiko probably will have to save here at this point.
I love they're still going to play it like they have to take it because it's unknown, and that's actually respectable. Because why make a mistake at this point and just get shot in the back from their spawn? Default smokes out. Going to go ahead and retake, or take this side, I should say, as Zekin cleared off the players who were on it.
Yeah, and that's also why I like the call from Berna going to this round to play that round, even though you're at map point for NRG, to still play quite slow. You're trying to close it out very aggressively for NRG. They've done these before in that last week. When at map point, they just explode and try to find that round. Of course, on the defensive side, you can't be as quick, but you saw how we were just slightly overconfident on winning these duels, and every single person got punished as they were trying to push forward and close that gap. So MIBR potentially getting their first flawless.
I hope they do. Need that money. Get Osbos back on an op, another core factor for them. And this push here for Verna. You have a dart. You have a dart, sir. Doesn't need it.
No, he's got minima.
No, that shouldn't help.
It does.
No, it's not the minima. It never will be, Vance. It never will
it's the
be.
minima.
Nice job by Verno there, clearing 2 and at that tight situation event. And a few rounds for themselves now here to start stacking the economy and make some decisions and see if they can't really figure out how to crack this energy defense.
It'll be tough. Another guess coming through from MIBR, and the first op that comes out on the defense too for NRG. So If they are trying to go for that fast hit on middle for that control in the first place, then it's going to be instantly punished by Mata.
Why not? He's shown you 2 fights in mid. Why wouldn't you go back for it for another one? Almost tempting it at that point. He's been solo every time. There's a quick shot.
Yeah, Kiko was just trying to find the timing. Smoke comes up, count to 3 seconds, try to get the spray.
Yeah, yeah.
There they are.
Beautiful Hunter's Fury, though.
Almost hit him in the knee. TP out. Kiko safe for now. Very nice site take. Ospas gonna hide on that right side. Brock able to find one through the smoke, starting before it even begins here on the retake. Oh my gosh, fans, it is just not stopping. From the vents here, Verno, maybe another one, or Brock rather, maybe another one?
Yep.
Oh, the shock dart onto Tex. They're gonna start trading util back and forth here. And we still just have a waiting Mata to help get back into sight. They finally have enough here to do it. Great hold so far by MIBR. They need to string this round together as well.
Player standing.
And they're going to do that. No problem on it. Well, shot by Mata, though. Do they want to drop the up? How bad do they want to drop is the question.
They don't have money to work with. I think right now for Mata, he should try to go for a pick, make it expensive if he can, but just getting punished in the end. And as we talked about MIBR loving to use Ospas on the up on the attack side previously, they decide not to pick it up for this round. So Ospas is going to go Vandal side against NRG on the attack. That said, you have to commend Tex right here in these plays. Pushing forward and getting those 2 kills doesn't really allow. I think that second salvo is probably still available for Ethan, which is another great point to the composition that they're running here for the side of NRG. They can really flood with a lot of util back at the site. And Tex was able to open that up.
I mean, I'm sure Ospas is talking a lot, but this is the most clips we've had of him in a game. Like, actually being vocal for the squad. Like, he's always saying things, but we usually don't get the reacts from him. So it's cool to see that he's vibing out there as well, even in his focus mode. Bonkar chatting it up again. And most of the NRG guys listening here to figure out what they can do to stop MIBR's pushes here. They've actually played the rounds a little bit late, as we've been seeing. The one where Zekin was able to take out the push from B, and then the previous one we just saw a little bit quicker with the early darts and util use from both teams right out of the gate. So a nice variation of that, but MIBR do like the low round, slow rounds.
We'll move soon into territories where you're going to be able to start cycling ults on the side of NRG for the next, in 2 rounds rather. Maybe Mata being the first one to be able to bring that across for the side of NRG.
Yeah.
But then for MIBR, you have the null command available from Mizzino. The question now comes into play. You know that NRG should be going on to an eco within the next round. Do you still want to try to pop very quickly after this timeout just to make sure that you continue to snowball a couple rounds here on your attack side? I think the answer for me now is probably not at this point. Even though it looked very one-sided for NRG on their attack side to start, this is still now looking at a 4-1 on that second half for the side of MIBR. It almost looks like a very impossible task to come through here for MIBR to bring this into overtime, but it's definitely doable with how they've been opening up here NRG on their attack side.
Well, it'll take them a second to pop right out of the timeout because we are now into a tech pause. So they have a lot of time to think about it before they get into their strategy. But I agree. Have to see what they have in store for us. Fraud and the rest of the team now quiet. One of the things from MIBR side, who was watching the Zekin interview, was that in their previous game, it was cool from the player's point of view to hear how their mistakes felt. And he said, we made mistakes towards the late portion of the round and not the beginning portion, which means our fundamentals are very good and the late round is very easy to fix. And that was really cool to hear. Like, you may have a lot of them there, but at the end of the round, those are ones we can shore up for the next time. And it seems like here, they did have decent fundamentals, but getting towards the site, they kept getting attacked. On the flip side, they have a different mentality, and we're seeing their attack, which is just their own in its own right. But that was very cool kind of portion from him to see how the team feels. And we've seen Zekin and G2's Jogamo do amazing things on our stage, but today they're facing a new challenge.
Hello everyone, my name is Zekin. Riot Games has supplied me with a knife, and I'm going to use it to play Split Decision, in which I have to cut this cake in half and try and make them weigh an equal amount.
I have a hot dog with me because guess what? I got that dog in me. Today's goal is me splitting the hot dog in half, so wish me luck.
So, off the bat, I'm thinking about slicing it right down the middle, in between these flowers. I feel like it would be nice and even.
We'll roll the winnie around, make sure it's the correct measurement. Okay, the dog's looking good.
But I have to take into account these sprinkles, you know. Every one of them weighs like half a gram or something, so it's very important that I count all of them individually.
All right, I'm cutting the hot dog right now.
I just hope I make a clean cut, dude. No. I'm feeling good about this. These look even. Actually, my right one might be a little bit bigger. I might be cooked.
Let's go. One. What does it say? Okay, 2.7.
Stay on the knife. No. What
does it say? I didn't get it, man. Oh my god, this glizzy's bigger than this one.
It's a beautiful piece right there. It also has the table all over it.
What am I supposed to do? I'm gonna compare it. Yo, Alright. The tip is bigger on this dog.
My final weights were 267.6 grams for this slice on the left, and then 260.5 grams for this slice on the right.
Final readings that I have for these dogs, I have, I think, 2.9 and 2.7, so the tip was a little bigger on this dog.
I think I did a wonderful job, and I think these are wonderful cakes.
This dog wins, unfortunately, and I did not win the split decision, so sorry about that. But I think I did a pretty good job.
And I'm very thankful to Riot Games for letting me cut cakes in half and weigh them.
Thank you guys for watching.
Now trying to look for something. Scuba, untouched and unbeatable.
Agora contra 4 jogadores vai ser pressionado. Pode vir. Bora Verdo!
We are back with VCT Americas. Thank you for your patience. We are here on Abyss second half, and it has been quite a second half for MIBR. There was a bit of a punch to the throat from NRG on their bonus round, as you can see there, but they get right back in it. They caught their breath. They pull 2 more rounds in Vans, and they're making a run for this.
That's why the timeout's super important as well for NRG's side. It's for MIBR to make any mistake and they lose that map, so NRG have to button things up a little bit on that side. Verno already going for some information early with that knife too. Realizing now that NRG's playing off site.
Aspas
get into a plant.
Who can follow? Everybody's in. They're realizing that they can kind of bully around NRG here on the lower by round, and that's exactly what they should be doing, taking that confidence right to the front door. Aspas is going to stay up there. He's like, yeah, I'm going to play the risky position for a moment.
NRG are definitely looking to flood back as well. The drone's looking for info. Shock dart. There's some damage. That's good in the end. Yeah. The round's going to come in for MIBR, but I feel that there's still a small misstep on MIBR's anti-eco here. To still give that plant for Mazzino and not to give it for anybody else. Tex is now 2 away from his ult. If he actually got that plant down, they could go for orb control in the next. Ospas is also 2 away on his own. That would have given him a chance here to, again, snowball some ultimates. And give him a chance to hopefully string a couple of these rounds, but it's a little bit of a mishap.
That's a new song, apparently. Tech's making it up out there. Over towards the left, so it looks like they might just rip this null command at the end of whatever strategy round 19 has for us. Early smoke mid from NRG to start him off there and just slow down any push.
Oh, that's huge.
Ooh.
Yeah, Mana could stay on this line. The salvo actually pushed Verno away from the drone, so Mana could still continue here. Especially with the knife being shot out, this has to be a little bit of a signal, at least for the side of MIBR, that they should not continue to commit. If you're playing out in the open like that and immediately breaking util,
there's so much commitment to it. Yeah.
That there's going to be an op, or at least Mana in somebody in aggressive position.
It's a great call. You got to be heady on the state of the game. It's one of the things we see both of these teams being very aware of, what possible situations could be at hand. And here, Brock looking for another 1, 2, 3 maybe if they come through.
This is also preparation coming in from NRG. This camera that's being thrown by Tex, when you're throwing these smokes on the top of that mid side, he uses a camera to ping the door and he breaks it as a wall bang and lurks up. And as it gets broken up, they could try to go for the late hit, the 4-1 at that spot. So that's why NRG, they already have 2 players on top of that side.
Kiko Paranoia is also stored up there. He's trying to get away from this null command.
30 seconds left.
Just orbing out into sight. Brock looks straight down in. No one's really trading. They're all standing to the left side of the smoke as they see their duelists go in. And this could be it now for NRG. Instantly shutting down MIBR in the entry, but Verno alive for a moment, can't get over to Mizzino to get him alive. And now Tex, the last one alive as the kills come through. TP to the other side. Tex is trying to find the kills. He heard the TP, so he's trying to swing it back and forth, and he keeps it alive for now. There's no time on the clock as it's been delayed, and NRG get a 13-6 Abyss.